there, KingJGrim here, or the guy who bought, played, and reviewed Hyrule Warriors on 3 different occasions, whatever you prefer, and... hello. It's been a while, huh?
Kept you waiting, huh?
It's been 4 fucking months! Yeah, not much I can say aside from the fact that my laziness within me is truly something to behold.
Nice.
Regardless, here I am, ready to pump out new stuff on my channel. I guess I could quickly say that I've been rather active on Twitch with some live streaming, but let's face it is easier playing video games live in front of a small audience than making a full researched, highly edited video. Kitty, survive!
I will!
Roshan, I need you!
Kitty, you suck.
So I humbly ask to you who are still waiting for my next in mind of to wait a tad bit longer. But pushing that aside, let's talk about something else at this very moment. Something that I am both extremely excited for, yet at the same time I'm almost certain that I will be slightly disappointed by it. And that is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity for the Nintendo Switch, which is to come out next month from this video's upload date. Allow me to begin by saying that Hyrule Warriors, both on the Wii U and the Definitive Edition on the Switch, are my most played games on these respective consoles. I adore this game. So many hours have been put into this experience and I regret nothing! I have, as previously mentioned, already made reviews for these games, but I will still say one thing that I feel is important. I have no love for the Warriors series, as I've never touched any Dynasty Warrior game. The only ones that I've played of this type of gameplay would be the Zelda one and Fire Emblem Warriors, which I felt wasn't as good as its Hylian counterpart. Still, I enjoyed it overall, which of course means that when Nintendo announced a sequel, to some extent, during their Direct, I was super hyped, only to quickly get worried with the more information that fell on my lap.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Because of this, I wanted to make a video going quickly through what we already know about this game, and after that, what I think and wish to see. Therefore, let's begin with what Koei Tecmo has shared so far of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. The primary thing to know is that this is a fully focused Breath of the Wild prequel, as its narrative is set 100 years before that game's story, when the Kingdom of Hyrule prepared for Calamity Ganon's return. And because of it being a narrative connection to the last Zelda game, the developers have been open with the fact that they're working closely with Nintendo on this one. Far more than the last Warriors game, and you can see it so easily, not only on how the game looks, being straight a visual copy of Breath of the Wild, but also the cutscenes, seemingly made by the same people behind Butoyi. We don't know if this game will be canon to the story of the Calamity, but we are definitely sure that this will not touch any of the other Zelda games, meaning that everything here is from the 2017 Switch game. Monsters, characters, locations, and items. Well, the Sheikah slate. As I've said, I haven't touched anything else that Koei Tecmo has produced in this genre, so comparing this gameplay to anything but Hyrule Warriors is impossible for me. So looking at this through the glasses that I do own, I can say that this is significantly different, whether it be on the positive or the negative. I cannot say, as I prefer to get my hands on it first before passing any kind of judgment on if these things are positive or negative, but for first glances, there absolutely are some positives here. Firstly, just look at the game. It is so beautiful with its cel-shading graphics, a visual style that won't get poor with age. Another thing that caught my eye was just the level design. This isn't even comparable. Age of Calamity is kicking both Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors' ass is hard. Like honestly, the older games are very corridor/hallway heavy maps with square rooms working as bases that the player must get control over. Some areas having some bigger room that you can, explore, but this, look at this! I genuinely love this change. Everything looks carefully handcrafted, as if this was an actual geographic area, so a massive thumbs up in that regard. Hell, it even looks like there are some environmental destructibility here, though to what degree, we do not know. What else to be said, presentation-wise, is the fact that this game will actually have voice acting, unlike the previous Hyrule War campaign. According to the trailer, many voice actors and actresses are returning to their roles, for better or worse. So instead of listening to the grunting all the time, we can actually listen to these beautiful characters talk to one another. And finally, I really like that this is the narrative that I wanted to explore in Breath of the Wild. I think most of those who played that game can all agree that the weakest part was the story and character side of things. The game showed us so much unexplored and so much potential, but it didn't utilize it at all. So actually being able to play through the Great Calamity makes me really happy and excited. Though that does bring us to what I consider to be a few negatives here. This game will just be about Breath of the Wild, and I don't know on how to feel about that. What made the original Hyrule Warriors so good was that it was a celebration of the franchise, being able to play as many fan favorites, having musical tracks remixed from the original 3D installments, returning to iconic places, etc. But here, just the notion of having characters from this time period, while it may make a better story mode, I feel can potentially hold the game back to some extent. Like, I have the original game on the Switch, and I can play as my queen whenever I want.
You play it cold, but it's kinda cute. Oh, when you're smiling at me, you know exactly what you do.
But I want to be as engrossed in the new game as I was with the old one, but with these characters that again wasn't utilized that well in their original outing, I don't think I will enjoy this as much as I want. Don't get me wrong, I love Mipha, I adore Urbosa's design, but they don't have that much going for them. Maybe this story will bring some light into their depth, but I kinda doubt it. Another thing that may be an issue is that, as it is Breath of the Wild focused again, the music. We haven't heard any full musical track yet, but from these gameplay videos on YouTube, it sounds like the type of musical stuff that can be heard in the adventure game. Now, music is all about preference, of course, but constantly listening to BOTW's piano tunes will probably annoy me eventually. Again, preference, but I'm also unsure on, since this is a story-driven game, work closely with Nintendo, if the playable characters will have any different type of weapons and costumes. We know there are some stuff here. Link is using a spear, and the champions using their original gear and their original regalia, but I'm curious if the devs are pushed into a corner in not taking things too far. Now, I'm not asking for another Sia. Dude! Even though I really like her. But Hyrule Warriors had tons of ridiculous stuff going for it, in the best possible way. Link literally swinging the world around with the gauntlets, Lana summoning all the Cuckoos, and having a character like Zan going apeshit. Yet if Age of Calamity is going for the more dark, serious narrative, then I don't think they really can be that ridiculous, as it will clash with the tone. I'd like to be proven wrong, of course, but I am worried. I feel like I've been a bit too harsh on this game, even just after watching 4 videos on YouTube. 2 gameplay ones and 2 story ones. So let me quickly go through a short wish list of mine before we end this. Please have the adventure mode in this game. It was godlike in both the previous Koei and Nintendo games. That pretty much where the main meat of the game was. And it really made the DLC worth every penny. Because seriously, the DLC that they had during Hyrule Warriors was probably the best DLC planned that Nintendo's ever had. Number 2, if they have DLC planned, please go all out with the characters. I want to lose myself in this game, and that requires fun to use and awesome looking warriors. And finally, this is going back to something I previously mentioned in the negative category. Please have good music. The soundtrack from Hyrule Warriors was so godlike. The Skyloft theme. Remnants of Twilight! Hyrule Field! They sound so good, and they fit the gameplay style of fighting thousands of enemies. Yet this... I mean, it worked in the open world Zelda game, but I don't feel like it fits this setting. So yeah, those were my thoughts on the upcoming Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity game. Do you have any thoughts on it? Are you excited for it? Don't you have any care whatsoever for this kind of gameplay? Any disagreements with my opinions here? Because I know that Zelda fans are opinionated, which is not a bad thing, and I will immediately go to work on my big boy video, which will fully fit this October month. But until that's out, I'm KingJGrim, or the guy who hasn't written a straight-to-paper script in a while. Sorry if this video was a mess, I feel like I'm just talking out of my... well, whatever. Whatever you prefer, and I'll see you guys next time! Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I know that it is technically just a small you know, thoughts and ideas thing, and I guess that you've been waiting potentially for my next in mind, and I am genuinely sorry for that, but you know, I think everybody can understand that 2020 has been a really weird year for everyone. So again, I hope that you haven't had such a hard time, and I'm not trying to look for pity, but I will say this: I finally feel the enthusiasm and happiness for making new stuff, so I will try for my best. More promises, damn it! Anyways, I will see you guys next time.